right. Hello. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. We are back with another episode. And let me go ahead and hit the record in 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, everyone. What is going on? Episode 175 of the South Florida Gamers Podcast. We're 25 away from episode 200. Can you believe that? 25 away. But anyways, we got a guest episode today. And of course, before we introduce our guest, you already know the co-host across the table from me is none other than Butter Punch.
Yo, what's good, chat? How's everybody doing?
Absolutely. And our guest returning to the seat is none other than SoldierLuka.
It's your boy SoldierLuka, local Reign of Maine extraordinaire. I'm ready, man.
Woo-woo. Glad to have you on. Welcome back again. This time, without a group, it's now just you by yourself. Mm-hmm. And we get to ask you some gamer questions.
I'm ready, bro. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm here to yap.
Yeah, this is your yap session.
My yap
and I want to hear all about it.
Absolutely. And before we even get onto that, I just got to give a big shout out to all of our followers that are, tuning in and watching the podcast. Greatly appreciate y'all. If you're new to the platform, go ahead and hit that like and, of course, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Turn on that bell notification so that way you get more access to content that I put out on a weekly basis, not just the podcast, but other gaming topics as well, and including streams. Check out Butter Punch as well. Like, he's getting back into, creating content as well. So definitely hit up Butter Punch on his YouTube platform and, of course, other social media platforms as well. So you already know how we do it on the podcast, and that is our normal tradition. Whenever we have a new guest on, we always got to ask them, what is your gaming origin story? So, SoldierLuka, what got you into gaming? Give us that background story.
For sure. So there's a little bit of preamble. So I'm going to just start off by saying my parents, we weren't poor, but it was one of those families where it's like, you get stuff at Christmas and your birthday, that's kind of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was limited supply as far as games and toys, right? So I was really, really young. And my mom had a decent job being a saleswoman at some printing company called Sir Speedy. I don't know if it exists still. Regardless, she had Sir Speedy. And the boss, instead of the normal, typical, here's a few extra $100 or whatever for a bonus, she knew she had two young boys, me and my older brother. My older brother's a year and a half older than me. So we're around the same, close to the same age.
Right.
So instead of, extra money, she would give us, her boys, some kind of gifts. So one year, I can't tell you the specific year, but I was really, really young. I got my first home console, and that was the N64.
Ooh.
That was my first home console. It was just one Christmas that boss gave the bonus to us. So we had the N64, and we had a couple of games. I couldn't tell you which one's the first game. I was so little, but I remember playing Mario 64. I remember playing this game where you're a tank called Battle Tanks. I had to look it up.
Ah, that's a classic. That is a classic. Me and my brother, we grew up playing that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to look it up because I was like, what is that tank game in N64? Because it had such a distinct style. You had the really big tank, the really small mobile one and stuff. And I only looked at the name yesterday. I found out the name. Battle Tanks. There's this really good platformer called Mischief Makers, kind of a low-key one.
That's a classic one.
That's a classic one. I literally have a cartridge still. I bought it at SuperCon one year. But vaguely remember games from N64, and that was kind of the start. It was pretty much essentially what I feel like was a fancy toy that was there for us, me and my brother. And then my mom noticed that, we really enjoy these different games, and then just kind of throughout the years got us more and more, and then it kind of grew from there. Eventually we got me and my brother got our first portable console, Game Boy Advanced.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, which specifically for me and my brother, because, I was 95 kids, right? So 90s babies. Pokemon was huge.
Yeah.
Right? Me and my brother were obsessed with the Pokemon anime, and we were begging to get a Pokemon game. Absolute begging. So when we got the Game Boy Advance, the newest one at the time was Ruby Sapphire.
Oh, that's my favorite.
So I got Ruby, my brother got Sapphire, and then every Pokemon game since, me and my brother would have one of, each version of the game. So that was the first portable game. So that's kind of the origin, was that bonus from my mom's boss. That was really it.
Your mom's boss was like that was an amazing decision.
Yeah.
That started your whole like not fighting game, but like video
Just
game
games in
career
general.
It's like, here's a 64. And you're like, hell yeah.
And I mean, of course, 64 was popping at the time. So she was probably seeing like, okay, they might struggle to buy it if I get just a bonus. But if I just get it to them outright, the races after that, I get whatever game.
Yeah. It'll be easier just to get the games afterwards. That's beautiful.
The fact that you got an N64 or, for as a Christmas present, it also reminisced my years when me and my brother, I think we got our N64 on Christmas as well. Like, who it was? I think my aunt gave us like I think like $100 to just me and my brothers together, and we used that $100 to get an N64. And our very first game we played was Mario Kart 64 because that was like the 1-2 player game we could both play. And slowly we ended up acquiring other games throughout the time and whatnot. But yeah, I know I know that feeling because me and my brother, we went through that.
100%. Then there's like, I just little reminiscences of specific games I remember. First Smash 64.
Yep.
I was huge into Smash. I can go on about that later on about the further generations. But Smash 64 I remember vividly. I remember Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer.
Yeah. Pod Racer.
Dude,
Yeah.
my family loved the Star Wars movies. So like I was into it, and then Episode 1 came out in theaters, whatever. So it's like they got us Episode 1 Pod Racer, and I remember failing against Saboba over and over, trying so hard to beat him as like a 6-year-old or something.
No, yeah, dude, those racing games are not. They're rated E for everyone, but they were not for kids. These AIs were cooking back in the day.
And when you're a kid, like you're not that great, you're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
you're like kind of brute forcing it, not understanding how to make it work. But man, I love the N64 so much.
Okay. So after the N64, did you got to experience other console generations like the PS2, GameCube era, so on and so forth?
Pretty much after that was like the start, and then clearly me and my brother both really enjoyed games. So we pretty much got a gaming console like, as they came out eventually. So the next home console I got, I guess the big one, you mentioned it, PlayStation 2. And that's probably before modern times where I had my own adult money. That's probably had the biggest library of games that me and my brother like shared between. So like we had the Jack and Daxter trilogy, we had the Ratchet and Clank trilogy, we had Lego Star Wars, some of the Lego games. We had, this is one I love. I mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh! That I love the anime. There's a particular game on PS2 that doesn't play like the normal card game. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses. If you ever heard of that one.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Haven't heard of it.
So this one, you're in like a 7x7 grid. You have a deck master that's in the center of this, like your side of this thing, and then you play off of the deck master your hand, and it's pretty much like Yu-Gi-Oh! Chess. It's very different, and then it utilizes stuff from the anime, like in season 1, where it's like, the field here is forest, so Weevil's gonna have an advantage. His monsters get bonus 500 attack and bonus movement. Right, and that game is I have a soft spot on that game. Every other year or so, I play with a different starting deck. Your starting deck in that game is determined by the name you input, and it randomizes 3 different decks, and you can kind of create a whole thing from that. But I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses, and then another one that I remember. So a little bit of background lore. So during summer break, because my parents worked, I would go to my cousin's house. There's one cousin that's 4 years older, and then his older sister is like 8 years older. So they would babysit us during the summer.
Right.
So during the summertime, he has his own games and collection. They have those different vibe. I know one game, I'm sure you know it, because I know the stuff you like, was Gundam Encounters in Space. Do you remember that game?
No, I think
not that one.
No.
There was a lot of Gundam games.
There was a lot.
There was, but
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to experience all of them, unfortunately, because during that time I was heavily into sports games, fighting games, and then of course your action adventure and hack and slash games. Like that's the PS2 era for me during that time. But the Gundam games, I know there was a lot of them. I didn't get a chance to experience those games, unfortunately.
So I'll just really quick. The cool thing about Encounters in Space was like it gives you the classic like Mobile Suit Gundam anime story, right?
Right.
But this is like the fighting game guy in me, is that you can't, it plays very similar to a fighting game. Like square was your gun, circle was like your beam sword, and there was like a dash button and other stuff, kind of like a 3D arena fighter kind of. But with Gundams in the 3D open space, because you can do it in space, encounters in space. So the story mode was Mobile Suit Gundam, but it wasn't limited to just Mobile Suit Gundam. It had a whole catalog of characters from the Gundam universe throughout like the anime at the time. So my favorite Gundam series growing up was G Gundam.
G Gundam.
Okay. G Gundam.
He knows ball. He knows ball.
Dude,
he knows ball.
I know you fuck with that heavy.
G Gundam
that is
sick.
Peak anime right there. I don't care what anyone says.
G
Best
Gundam.
anime of all time. Like, bro.
Dude, wait a minute.
He's pulling out the receipts, bro.
Bro, I will pull out the receipts. Like, bro, like you can see this.
Yo, frame one, bro.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yep. Love it.
I mean, y'all can't see it, chat, but yeah, it's Domon and Rain with Burning Gundam in the background. Yeah.
So Encounters in Space had a 2-player split screen mode where you can fight each other. So since G Gundam was my favorite, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play freaking Domon. I'm gonna play the G Gundam, Burning Gundam. But the thing is, and you could tell early seeds of my fighting game, like I felt he was low tier. I didn't know that terminology at the time, but I felt it because like in the main story, you're using the normal mobile suit, who's kind of the Ryu of the game, right? He has a regular beam sword. Well, Burning Gundam doesn't have a beam sword.
No.
He has Shining Finger. If you watch the anime, right? His hand of his glows red, right? So his beam sword was the Shining Finger. Only problem is it's his hand. There's no range on it.
No,
he cannot swing.
You gotta get close.
And then of course, like you would imagine, the beam sword does higher damage than like your projectiles because you have to get in close to do it. So I was already like, man, my favorite Gundam sucks in this game. I'm like 8 or something, and I'm like upset at this game. But another game that I got into from my cousin's house, from being babysat over there, another one that's great that I loved was Armored Core.
Oh,
Armored
okay.
Core,
You guys definitely can like bounce off each other, because he loves that stuff too.
He knows ball.
You got to thank my cousin John that he's the one that showed me, and he only got into it because of his father was into it. So the one that I got introduced to with Armored Core was Armored Core 2 Another Age. That was a specific one he had. But what Armored Core showed me that I really, really liked in gaming now in general, and I can't get enough of it, is character customization. So, because you, as you know, Armored Core, you could completely customize the whole robot.
Yep.
You can have floating legs. You can have quadruped legs. You can have like arms that are straight up gun cannons. Like you could do a whole bunch in that game. And that was like the first game that I had that had character customization like that, like in general. And that kind of spiraled into other games that have it, and I instantly like the game just a little bit more, right? So I eventually, on my own, I saw that Armored Core 3 and Armored Core Silent Line, which is the next generation of Armored Core games that came out. So I eventually got Armored Core 3 and Silent Line. Those were like, that's the main generation of Armored Core games I was into that I got. But thanks to my cousin introducing it to me.
Right, yeah.
And then also introduced by my cousin, a lot of random franchises and stuff introduced by my cousin being babysat was, he had Soul Calibur 2.
Soul Calibur
2 for the PlayStation 2. So the one with Heihachi, not the one with Link that everyone loves.
Yeah, everybody.
He knows ball.
Again, you got to thank my cousin. He's the one that showed me the ball. But yeah, he showed me Soul Calibur 2. So instantly I'm like, this game is so cool. And like, I wasn't good or anything, but I was having a blast going through the weapon mastery mode, I believe is what it's called in Soul Calibur 2. So I got, when they announced Soul Calibur 3, I'm like begging Christmas or my birthday, whichever one came first at the time. I'm like, get me Soul Calibur 3, give me Soul Calibur 3. And then hold and behold, character customizations in Soul Calibur 3.
Yeah.
Mine exploded. Like I loved Soul Calibur 3. That was like my main, like I always dabbled in fighting games like Mortal Kombat. I learned the like a couple years back when Strive came out that I actually played Plus R at my cousin's, and I didn't know what it was. I just saw this fighting game with a cool shadow dude. I didn't know what it was, but it was Zato. It was Zato. So when I saw Plus R years later with Strive coming out, I was like, oh, I got introduced to Guilty Gear and I didn't even know it. But regardless, I enjoyed the fighting game. Other fighting games too, freaking the Budokai series, Dragon Ball Budokai, Tenkaichi, regular Budokai.
Ball, people.
There's like again, PlayStation 2.
Chat.
There's so much.
So much to PlayStation, bro. They had the whole fighting game library.
Yeah, 100%. And Soul Calibur 3 in particular is so special to me. Again, Soul Calibur in general is probably my favorite fighting game franchise, Soul Calibur. I love that growing up. But 3 in particular, a lot of people say is like the best single player stuff in the game.
Yes.
There's a lot of different modes, but the one in particular I enjoyed was Chronicles of the Sword.
Yep.
So if you don't know, it's like top down, you're on a map. You start the mode by creating the main character of the story.
Yeah.
So you create your guy, right?
I do remember
so
that, yeah.
My friends around the block, we would come and play Soul Calibur together. So I knew from their custom characters on my memory card that they always make a guy. So I made a main character a girl. I'm like, if we're gonna have all guys, we need a girl somewhere. So I made a girl. And I was waxing poetic as a freaking 3rd grader. I named my character Hope because I knew I was the best at the game because I owned the game. So when in doubt, you send in Hope. She's our final hope. She'll take care of, get things done.
There you go. Send in Hope.
So I made Hope, and then it gives you created characters that you can use on the map as your units, but you don't have to use them. They give you open slots to make more characters if you want. So I gave the controller to my buddy. He made his guy. Gave the controller to my other friend. He made his guy.
Okay.
And now we're going through the map together. And then when it comes time to the particular unit to fight, you can either choose to fight on the overmap and they just kind of whittle away at each other until somebody dies, or you can hit decisive battle and then go into a Soul Calibur like actual fight.
Oh, okay. So it's like a real-time strategy with like a fighting game mixed in
where
if you
can
wanted to.
Exactly. So whenever their characters will go up, pass the controller around, yo, you gotta fight now. Oh, you gotta fight now. And it's like I have such fond memories of that particular mode. Again, spamming the character customization, having that all the friends around the block, joining forces in that game mode also, because it's like the real-time strategy. Your characters also like level up and stuff. The more combat it has your win-loss record when you defeat opponents. It your stats in game are determined by the class system that the character customization had. So you can be a samurai, you can be a ninja, you could be a priest, you could be a knight. Like there's like a whole bunch. There's like 18 different options.
Dude, that's so much content. I love this.
It's really sick, and it also determined what weapons you had in that character. So like in more modern Soul Caliburs, you would just pick like Soul of Siegfried, Soul of Mitsurugi, whatever.
Right,
but in that one, if you wanted Mitsurugi or Yoshi, you had to be a samurai. If you wanted Taki, you had to be a ninja, and then so on and so forth. And because at the time Naruto was popular, it was coming out.
Oh yeah,
all my friends were ninjas. All of my friends were ninjas, right? But I wanted to play as Mitsurugi. That was my main. So I had to be a samurai, which also differentiated Hope from the other characters.
Not to cut you off, but
go ahead.
Your main was Mitsurugi. My main was Mitsurugi.
You see, we're on like a wavelength right now.
Gundam, Mitsurugi, like y'all have like a same wavelength right now.
Yeah.
There's again so many. There's PlayStation 2 had so many games.
Definitely.
Like again, I can't even like name them all. There's so many, but that one had like the biggest catalog growing up. After the PlayStation 2, we did eventually get the GameCube, which what really pushed the GameCube for me and my brother was that, well, for me in particular, was that I went to a friend's house. He had the GameCube, and he had Smash Brothers Melee.
Oh, yeah.
And my Smash Brothers Melee is everything 64 was, but like times 10. Like it went Kaioken. They went crazy in that 2-year development or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah, they really did.
No, yeah, they're like
over double the characters, over double the maps, like characters you've never even heard of, right? And I would go over his house after school, and we would play on Hyrule Field, and we would set the items to be just explosives. 99 stocks were blowing each other up the whole day. Like that it was so fun. So eventually one Christmas I was like, oh, we need to get a GameCube. I want to get Smash Brothers Melee. And we did eventually get the Melee bundle for GameCube. So that was probably like the next home console that me and my brother got. And then with GameCube, we got a handful of other games. So I got Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, which I learned about Sonic Adventure, again, from that same friend that showed me Melee. He had a Dreamcast. So he had the Dreamcast version of Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. And it's weird because we were both like teenage boys, right? But we were messing with heavy the Chow Garden.
Dude, Chow Garden's so good. Not gonna lie, if you were in Chow Garden, like that's like a precursor for everybody to say like you're gonna be a good parent, bro. You was in Chow Garden? Dude. You're going to be a great parent.
Yeah. So he showed me extensive stuff on the Dreamcast version. So when I saw it was on GameCube, of course I had to get it on GameCube. So we had Melee, we had Sonic Adventure. We were still obsessed with Pokemon, right? So Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness came out. Again, similarly, we visited like a family member in Orlando, and their child that I was friends with, he had Coliseum. So it's like, oh, we need to get Coliseum. But coming out that year was XD. So we actually played them in reverse order. Me and my brother played XD Gale of Darkness first, and then went backwards and eventually got Coliseum, which those games are cool because coinciding with us getting, Ruby Sapphire, Fire Red, Leaf Green, if you know anything about the Pokemon Gen 3 thing, to complete the Pokédex, you didn't have like the you didn't have the Johto Dex really. You had some in Fire Red and some in like Emerald, but you didn't have, there was like 80, 100 Mons just missing.
Yeah.
And XD and Coliseum filled that gap with the Shadow Pokemon in that game. So.
Oh yeah, because I know GameCube had like an adapter where you could
the link cable.
Yeah, the link cable. So you're able to like complete your collection through that.
Yeah, and we were so obsessed with it. Like one of the Christmas gifts we got was like strategy guides. Remember strategy guides?
Oh.
Like,
I would buy that.
I learned, me and my brother, we had the official Nintendo XD Gale of Darkness strategy guide, and it's all tore up. I still have it in my room somewhere with duct tape on, to make it work. And I remember, like, it was such a mission, but like, me and my brother really wanted to purify Lugia. Because that was the only way to get Lugia was to purify, XD0001 in that game. We eventually did it. It doesn't even tell you exactly in the strategy. It's like, you need to have perfect tempo in the purifying machine in order to purify this Pokemon.
Bro, ambiguous ass tips that I paid $20 for.
Right, but it was enough. We got it.
It was enough.
It was enough. So we had GameCube games. We eventually got, of course, the next generation. We had the Nintendo Wii, which, Wii Sports was hype. One of the best selling games of all time. Wii Sports was just fun motion controls. We had Mario Galaxy. We had Smash Bros. Brawl. Smash Bros. Again, we were into Smash a lot. We're into Pokemon a lot. Smash Bros. Brawl was ridiculous. I can go into the hype on Brawl later. But like, I was really heavy into Smash. So Brawl was a big, big, big deal. I wasn't competitive at the time. Well, I was, but not like real competitive. I was right. The best of my friend group kind of competitive.
That's how it always starts.
Yep.
That's how it always starts, right?
Yeah.
And then, oh my gosh, there's so much games. I don't know how much you want me to gush about all the different games.
Dude, I want more, bro.
I could do how much as I want.
Dude, I want to hear what the next generation was after that. And then I want to hear the current generation. But finish your Nintendo stuff.
So real quick though, from Melee, my main at first was Luigi. And if you played Smash Melee, you have to unlock all the characters in multiple different methods. Like Mewtwo, you had to keep the console on for 24 hours in versus mode to unlock him overnight, which I did do. Game & Watch is like the last guy you unlock, right? But so my main was Luigi when I first got the game. I didn't have all the characters.
Right.
But eventually, I get this mysterious blue-haired Japanese-speaking swordsman. I'm like, who is this guy? Of course, I'm talking about Marth.
Yo.
And I'm like, yo, this guy's cool as hell. I don't know who he is. He only speaks Japanese. I go in the trophy to see where he's from. Fire Emblem, Famicom only. I've never heard of him. Fire Emblem did not come out yet at the time in 2001.
No,
right?
Yeah.
So eventually, like, Marth became my main, like my solo main forever. And then Brawl came out, and of course, I'm still sticking with Marth. With Marth top tier in Melee, I didn't know that, but I was playing Marth because he was cool. He's really good in Brawl as well, so it's like I kind of just gravitated toward a top tier character, not even knowing it. But eventually, I was like, yo, I need to play a Fire Emblem game. Because like I need to know where this guy is from. I mess with him so heavy in Smash. I gotta find out where he's from.
Yeah, you gotta find out where he's from.
In Brawl, now Fire Emblem games are coming out. Because right after Melee came out was the original Fire Emblem on the GBA, aka Fire Emblem 7. Right? I never actually played that one. I didn't have it on the Game Boy. Again, my Game Boy was like a Pokemon machine. I played Pokemon and like Mystery Dungeon, all the Pokemon games that was in. There was like nothing else, just Pokemon.
Yeah, it's just your Pokemon machine.
Right. But on the DS came a remake of Marth's game. So Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon came out, which was a remake of the first Fire Emblem game. So it was like perfect timing. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get that remake. And also coinciding with the timeline, Blockbusters were going out.
Bro, yeah.
So my local Blockbuster was like having we're closing sale, and they had Shadow Dragon. So I got Shadow Dragon from Blockbuster before they closed, right? For like dirt cheap. And that was how I discovered Marth, which, I don't know if you know anything about Fire Emblem or Marth.
Me personally, no.
Nothing. All right.
But enlighten me.
Like his title in the game and in Smash and stuff, he's called Hero King Marth.
Hero King,
right?
Marth.
And you're like, why is he called Hero King Marth? So like, I wasn't that heavy into story mode stuff, but the gist of the story is like his kingdom is getting ransacked. His sister is like the leading princess, and his parents get murdered, and his sister like sacrifices herself so that Marth can live, right? Because he's now the next predecessor. He's the king, right?
Right.
So now Marth, when he's older, through the guidance of an old soldier named Jagan, now recruits a whole army to take on the Shadow Dragon, right? But the thing is, like, Marth is leading in the front lines. Like, he's in the army, too.
Oh, okay.
So that's where his title of Hero King comes from, because he was the hero of the story, using the legendary sword Falchion to get it all done.
Yeah,
so,
but
like,
also a king where normally kings don't play in
normally
the
they're
front
in, like in chess, they're in the back, letting their pawns and whatever bushes do the work.
Yeah.
But no, he's in there. Like, he's actually doing that. So like that's really cool. And then learning more about Marth was really cool. And then I learned about Fire Emblem. That kind of game. It's like, it's not RTS, but it's like overhead grid based. I don't know. It's like a strategy game.
Oh yeah, it reminds me of
like XCOM. I think people compare it to a lot.
Yeah, XCOM's a good comparison of it. I'm sure everybody probably played Fire Emblem Awakening. Was it similar to that?
That was a huge game when that game came out. We can get to that in a little bit in the timeline. But Shadow Dragon was my first one. So like after that point, like I fell in love with that game, the stories, the units. It has like that fantasy and sword elements that I enjoyed in other games previous, like Soul Calibur, again, swords and all this fantasy stuff. Right, it's really cool. I mean, Fire Emblem just has a lot of cool fantasy stuff. You have characters that can turn into dragons. You have Pegasus Knights. You have Wyvern Knights. Like, you have magicians and magic and stuff in the game. And then one thing in the game that is like a controversial feature of the game, but it's like known for it, is the permadeath feature.
Oh, dude, permadeath.
So like, again, I'm like a teenage kid at the time, like young teenager. I'm not that good at games, and like I don't want the characters I'm getting attached to die, right?
No, yeah.
So like the typical thing is if your character dies, you would reset so that you're kind of saving them, right? Like save scumming in other games. But at one point in my original Shadow Dragon playthrough, I just got sick of resetting. I'm like, because you're paying time to save your character to hopefully play better, or the RNG blesses you better.
Yeah, because 99% still doesn't guarantee a hit.
It doesn't guarantee it, exactly. But at one point, I was like 2/3 of the way through the game. I'm like, screw it. I don't care that much about that particular character. I'll keep moving on. And the genius of the original Fire Emblem and Shadow Dragon by extension, because it's a remake, was that they designed the game with the idea that permadeath is a thing, and they give you plenty of backup units throughout your journey to replace anybody you might have lost along the way.
Oh, okay.
So you can obviously over level like your favorite units, and they'll probably become god units, but they will give you enough to supply your army. So I pushed through that game, and I never beat it in my initial playthrough because it gets really tricky and hard, and because I wasn't reading the story, I didn't really understand, like, oh, Medius, the Earth Dragon, is immune right now, and he will be unimmune in a couple of turns, but I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't reading it, I was just playing it. But eventually, like, I fell in love with that game, so I wanted more Fire Emblem games, and as they were coming out, I tried to get them all, but I didn't really get the next Fire Emblem games, which the next one at the time, Fire Emblem 12 didn't come out in America because Shadow Dragon didn't do well. So then the next one after that, the one on the GameCube and the Wii, was Ike's games. I didn't play those ones. I rented it.
Radiant Dawn?
Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance, which recently came out on NSO, the GameCube one.
Oh, yeah, because I saw that got on the Nintendo Online.
Recently came out on NSO, so I will get to play it soon. I haven't started it yet.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, right. But so those games came out. I didn't play those ones. I rented from Hollywood Movie the one on the Wii.
Oh, that's a deep
which was Radiant Dawn, which I didn't get very far because the rent was like 5 days or something.
Bro.
I know, right? And you pay extra after that point. But I played that one a little bit. But the next big one after that was, you mentioned it was Awakening, which was, again, I think that one was on the regular DS, not the 3DS. I think that was the regular DS, towards the end of the DS life cycle.
Probably.
Yeah,
I can't remember. For me, I played it on the 3DS because I know all my friends were playing that one.
Yeah, and that one was like the lore about in studio, right? Intelligent Systems, the developer, like they told him like, yo, your last few Fire Emblem games did not sell well. So this is your last one, guys. You gotta you're either doing it well and you can keep going, or this is the last one.
They're like, you gotta hang up the IP, bro.
Right. So they really went hard. They pulled a lot of things throughout the franchise's history, because it's a 30-year-old franchise at this point in time.
Right.
Original Famicom. It's just as old of a series for Nintendo as like Zelda and Mario.
Right.
People don't realize that, but it is.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So they pulled a lot of stuff throughout the franchise to like add into Awakening, and it worked out perfectly fine. It blossomed into its whole other thing.
Oh yeah, dude. I think after that they had like 5-6 different Fire Emblem games on the
It's
DSs.
now a staple like franchise of Nintendo at this point.
Oh yeah, like it's their money maker.
To the detriment of Smash fans everywhere, because they're gonna have a new Fire Emblem protagonist in Smash every single time now. Ever since Melee, when Roy came out to promote the upcoming game.
Oh,
and it wasn't even Roy's game, which is the funny part. It was Roy's dad's game. Oh
Bro.
My goodness, dude.
You know, we love that though.
Right, but Awakening pulled out a lot of stuff from the older franchise, stuff that I didn't even know was in it. So like that game people meme that is like a dating simulator, because there's a whole support system, which is in other Fire Emblem games, but only in Fire Emblem 4, which didn't come out in America, back in the Super Famicom. That one had a whole second generation to it, where you would have your initial generation of characters, and then the second half of the game is the second generation of characters based off of the supports that you created, the bonds, their children.
Yeah.
Finish the fight.
I
right?
do remember Awakening did a little bit of that.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Awakening pulled like stuff from that. It pulled like other mechanics from other games from the whole franchise. It used Spot Pass to give you free units. They called them Einer Jars. They're like soul versions of older characters. So you would have it would have the official art of an older character from the franchise. It'll be that character, and you can just use them as a unit in the game if you want. You didn't have to use the Awakening cast.
Ooh.
So
okay.
they really like nostalgia baited a whole bunch, used a lot of mechanics, but it hit that perfect spot that it saved the franchise essentially.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember enjoying that game a lot, and I wasn't a big RTS fan. But like all my friends liked it. The dating sim stuff was like really cool. Like if you're a Persona fan, like that's ball right there.
Yeah, and it's like. It's kind of funny. It's like you're making a eugenic super soldier. You're like, oh, this guy's really good at magic. This girl's really good at magic. So the child's going to be amazing at magic. And we can make these god units. And then they inherit the last skill of the mom and the dad. So you can, if you knew that, you can really plan to make some insane units, right?
Yeah.
One thing that Smash does, though, it kind of spoils stuff for a lot of games.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
like,
with like the little icons and like the little stickers.
Well, in reference to Fire Emblem, in Smash 4 came out Lucina, and blatantly spoiled that Lucina is Crom's daughter from the future.
No, yeah.
Right, yeah, which I guess spoiler alert, sorry if you didn't know that for a 13-year-old game, but like yeah, just blatantly kind of spoiled that for a lot of Fire Emblem stuff does get spoiled from Smash. Some of them a little more subtle than others. But like that's a kind of funny one with Fire Emblem. But like Fire Emblem very quickly between Shadow Dragon and Awakening became like my favorite single player franchise in general. Something about the characters and something about the gameplay, the threat of permadeath, so it's always on the back of your mind.
Oh yeah.
Like it's really engaging to me. And then, of course, the fantasy elements, I really already enjoy knights and swords and dragons and all that. So that quickly became like my favorite franchise single player wise. So I always like get the collector's edition now. I always get the newest one that comes out. And I'm trying to, do the backlog, play the ones I missed or the Japanese exclusive ones. Like people... Oh, and the mobile game came out a couple years back.
Oh, yeah. I actually played that one. That one's pretty good.
The mobile game's cool in the fact that it introduces you to a lot of characters that otherwise, unless you played the Japanese exclusives, you wouldn't know. So, like, I mentioned Fire Emblem 4 that they had the dating sim aspect.
Yes.
So, I got introduced to Julia from that game, Genealogy of the Holy War, through the gacha game, because she was one of the first newer units that came out in one of the banners. And... And also, the bonus thing about the gacha game is it gives voices to characters that never had voices before.
Ooh,
so
yeah,
Julia is like this sweetheart princess like kind of character, on top of having this dragon effective tome that was really cool. And it's like I fell in love with her. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so sweet and everything, and she has like this very sweet voice. And it's like, it makes me endeared to characters. Now I'm looking forward to Genealogy of the Holy War, and I never played it, but I know I'm going to eventually do it.
Because now you have that voice that you attach to.
Right.
For the
And
character.
it's like, and it's not just her. It's like, then you get the other cast, because the characters, the voice lines give so much character to the characters. I feel like that's a strength of Fire Emblem. That's why you don't want to lose your characters in permadeath.
Yeah.
It's because these characters have personality. They have personality in game, right? They might have dodged an important hit that might have killed them and then crit right back. Boom, personality. You're instantly more attached because they had that clutch moment. And then they have stuff outside of the game through story, through supports that you love and enjoy. And that I love Fire Emblem so much. Oh my god.
It sounds amazing, dude.
Yeah. Anyway. I need to pull away from Fire Emblem really quick. So back to Smash.
Okay.
Smash was a really big deal to me. So Brawl, the hype to Brawl, you had to be there for the Brawl Dojo. The first announcement trailer for Smash Brawl was that huge trailer. It showed off new characters. It showed off Zero Suit Samus. It showed off Wario. It showed off Pit. It showed off Meta Knight. All newcomers in this 3D. Dude, the trailer starts out. You see Mario, Link, Kirby, and Pikachu run up in the stage with their melee models. They do their pose, and the game goes down and transitions them into the Brawl, like
the brawl animations.
Yeah. And it blew my mind and my brother's mind when that came out with the big epic orchestra theme of Brawl. And then they showed off all the new characters they're fighting. It ends with the Wario doing the literal nuke waft. He farts, it is a giant nuke, right? And then Sakurai had a website called Smash Dojo. Those that know, but it was like a weekly or daily thing where they would show off little things in Brawl leading up to the release.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a huge thing. And it would show off like little things. It might be like a random trophy here, a random stage here, but then sometimes it'll be a big thing, like when they showed off Sonic for the first time.
Bro, I remember that.
Broke
that is
the
the
internet.
icon in the internet. Getting Sonic in a Smash game.
Right, yeah. And people were memeing like, oh, Sonic's a hidden unlockable in Melee, which he's not. But there was like that rumor back then before, like, you know, we had all the information available to us.
Yeah.
Like there was that rumor somebody photoshopped Sonic into Melee. Oh, he's unlockable. You have to meet 100-man Melee in this amount of like BS. But he was actually in Brawl, and it was a humongous thing. Snake was in Brawl for some reason. Super random, but it was hype.
No,
right?
yeah, everyone was freaking out for Snake on that one.
Right, yeah. So leading up to Brawl was all those little teasers on the Smash Dojo website, which was huge. Me and my brother would spend so much time every day looking forward after school to see, oh, what's coming out now? What's the news here? Blah, blah, blah. It would be something simple. It might just show off moves of characters like, oh, Mario has Flood now from Super Mario Sunshine. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
So we were really hype about Smash. I got really into Brawl. And in high school, we had what was called a Japanese Appreciation Club, AKA Anime Club.
Yeah, fair enough.
AKA, right?
That's a good way to segue.
That's
to
what
that.
we all called it. We called it Anime Club, but it was the official title was Japanese Appreciation Club.
Yeah,
and
sounds a lot better for the older guys.
Right, for the school board. It sounds better for the school board because now it's like education. So it was 2 days after school, and one of the days was like actually anime or actual Japanese culture stuff, so like origami or something like that. But the other day we called it like a game day, so Japanese games. There was a decent Yu-Gi-Oh scene in my high school, but there was, of course, everyone loved Brawl, so we ran Brawl tournaments in Anime Club. And when I tell you, like, I was the best of my friends, I went undefeated my 4 years in high school at Hollywood Hills High School. I was undefeated. My Marth did not lose, not once, throughout all of Brawl. So I was, not to toot my own horn.
To my own horn.
I was kind of a big deal, you know, in Hollywood Hills class of 2020, 23 or 2013. But after high school, right? I get introduced to a friend in senior year. His name's JT. He does show up occasionally, not super often, to the local Tekken tournaments, but that's my boy JT. And he showed me, this is another big one, milestone era for me. He showed me a mod of Brawl called Project M.
Project M,
Project M is huge. So if you don't know, for those that don't know, Project M was developed by fans to make Brawl play like Melee and then also attempt to rebalance the Smash games. Because generally speaking, Like Melee has like 7 viable characters out of the 26. Brawl had like 12 viable characters out of the like 30, right? So they're like, okay, we miss how Melee played. Melee was considered, I didn't know this at the time, but Melee was considered the more fun, more actually competitive Smash game.
Right.
So a lot of people were disappointed with Brawl with like the tripping and the floatiness and all this different stuff.
Oh yeah, the
of
RNG
game.
of tripping, yeah.
Right. There's a lot of differences. Like when you're a kid, you don't notice it. But like as an adult, especially if you play them back to back, it is immediately apparent how different those games are. Like fundamentally, they have the same mechanics, but how they tweaked those mechanics, you could tell like Sakurai is like, I'm not vibing with these Melee kids, so I'm going to tweak it so that it's not like that. It's actually insane.
Typical.
But anyway, so Project M is like, but we like Melee Fox, we like Melee Marth, we like those characters, so we're going to try to make that. So I got introduced to Project M right after high school. So this is like 2013, 2014 at the time, which also coincides with the release of Project M 3.0. So I was late to the party as far as Project M was concerned. But 3.0 was the first patch of that game that had the full Brawl roster. So it had every character, which was tight for me.
Because you were ready to hop in.
Well, I didn't know.
Available.
So JT shows me it. And remember, I'm high off of my high horse of being undefeated in high school Brawl. I get a new friend. He shows me this new Smash game. I'm thinking I'm hot shit. I go in there. He sets it 4 stocks, 8 minutes by default, by the way, which is the Melee competitive standard rule set. No items, right? We hit a competitive stage and we play. And I get 4 stocked.
Bro.
And then I get 4 stocked. And then I get 4 stocked again. And over and over and over, I'm getting 4 stocked. I'm like, what's going on? I'm not that bad at this game. I need to do. And then like I was butting heads with him over and over until eventually, like now I'm competitive now, right? So again, this is fresh off of high school. So he showed me Project M. We come to find out, we were at Broward College. There was a small group of guys that played Project M and the college lunchroom. So like straight up like bring the CRT, bring the Wii, hook it up in the lunchroom and play for hours in between classes.
Was this the Davie campus for Broward College?
This was the Davie campus.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I bet they still do it.
They still do it. I
100%.
graduated 2020, so like I think 2019 I went to the campus there. Yeah, they still do Smash. In this case, they have the Switches now.
Right.
So they had Ultimate in like the little like cafeteria kind of area, like like the mall lunch area, and they just set up their systems. They play there. Yeah, they still do that, dude.
Yeah.
So nice little gap of like how it is before how it is now.
Right. So there was a small Project M group of players there. Of course, we're like, oh, can we play? So we started bringing our GameCube controllers daily to college, and we would play in between classes and stuff. And then as a group, we find out that there's a local Smash scene. So now we're like, oh, we're going to try to go to the Smash tournaments and stuff. And I'll never forget. So the venue at the time, it doesn't exist anymore, man, because COVID took it out. But it was Versus Gaming Center.
Bro,
Versus Gaming Center.
Versus.
Those South Florida guys, they ran more than just Smash. But Smash in Florida is massive. I'm sure you know, Senpai, running the Smash tournament.
No, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Smash.
Definitely.
And at the time, it was Project M was huge at the time. It was kind of bridging the gap between the Melee and the Brawl guys.
Yeah.
So a lot of Melee guys played, a lot of Brawl guys played, and then there was guys like me that became pretty much a Project M guy. I didn't enter the other ones. I entered Project M.
Right.
But there was like a huge scene. And then that was like the start of really my like competitive journey in like a fighting game kind of thing. It was literally Project M and going to Versus. And then at the time also, it wasn't just Versus would host, but the community had community run events. So in particular, a lot of the guys were more Miami based, and a lot of them attended FIU, the school, right?
Right.
So there was a particular spot in FIU. We would go every Friday, and they called it like Smash at Skyloft because the recent Zelda game at the time, Skyward Sword, Skyloft was like the main city in that game.
Yeah.
So it was like on the second floor, overhanging kind of thing. So they called it Skyloft, and they hosted Project M there. And that was like long time ago, man. I have videos, like a playlist of all my Project M matches that I've ever been like on a stream. I have it on my YouTube that I have that playlist. I can go back to and find clips and everything.
Oh,
but like that was the local scene. And like, I'm not talking like, 15 guys, 20 guys. Like, no, I'm talking like 40, 50 man entry brackets. Like, these are huge brackets, and Smashers are grinders. They will play and play and play. Like, they're out the tournament. All right. They're not watching the stream. They're grinding. They're grinding off the side. Right. And like, man, like that was like my first competitive scene, first like FGC kind of scene. And like, man, like I still think about those guys every once in a while. You know, shout out like Jags Money. Well, he was my Marf main brother. Me and him made Marf, but he kept at it. He's literally like top 50 in the world, like in the recent Project M rankings. Like he's still going at it. Other guys I can shout out, like Mr. Fabulous Squirtle main, cool ass dude, really good commentator. His homie, that his training partner, Captain Falcon main, one of the best gamer tags in my opinion. His gamer tag was Honey Blunts. That is a golden gamer tag, dude. Honey Blunts, get out of here, man.
Honey Blunts, yo.
Honey Blunts goes hard as hell, dude. I miss that dude. That dude's
If
hilarious.
I get that on commentator, bro, like I'm like, yo, I need you for the next one right away. I just know he's gonna cook.
It's so good. But like, yeah, like Project M became like an addiction for me. Like that kind of competitiveness, having an actual scene to go to and friends to always connect with. It was such a big thing here. And again, Project M was huge. But at one point, a couple years after, 3.0, they kept releasing patches, 3.1, 3.2, whatever.
Right.
3.6.3, I think, was the last version of Project M. And it became the last version because the Nintendo ninjas said, enough's enough. You can't mod our game.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
there's a whole backstory about it. But the TLDR is that the Project M development team felt threatened by Nintendo. And they were like, to prevent legal action against us, we're just cutting out development, and because of that, like Project M scene kind of really died down because of that, which was really unfortunate because there was like, again, I wasn't the only one that was mainly a Project M player in particular. Because at the time, I mean, all these other Smash games, like, yeah, there's a good amount of viable characters, but Project M was the only one where like you could legit see anybody. You're never going to see a Bowser in Melee, ever. But you'll see it in Project M. You'll see Ganondorf in Project M. You'll see Game & Watch in Project M. King DDD. Like the random characters you'll never see anywhere else. You'll see Roy, right?
Yeah.
So it was like so cool. And also because Project M incorporated tech, like high tech stuff from Melee, and then kept the cool tech from Brawl, like reverse aerial rush. Like that's something that is not in Melee, but is really cool and fits perfectly in the Melee engine. Project M is so special. But yeah, the scene got shut down once the Nintendo ninjas came. And eventually another fan group continued it with Project Plus. But at that point, like the scene was too fractured. Like there's still guys that go, I'm sure, but it's not nearly, it's like a shadow of what it once was. But yeah, there's Project M's a whole thing. Eventually, I kind of skimmed over it because I got so into the competitive stuff I was into. Outside of that, though, throughout high school, 360 was the console.
360, yeah, 2013, yeah, we probably
that was when
there.
I graduated, but 09 was when I was first starting high school, and I kind of skimmed over one generation, but I got the 360.
Now, okay, so 360 is what you got,
right?
That and the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, it was that and the Wii. So like the Wii was in my brother's room, the 360 was in my room, right? And that was kind of 360 was the first online console.
Yeah, same thing for me. That was my first online experience.
Right. And then I know COD 4 was massive in 09, but I didn't have COD 4. COD 4 wasn't my first Call of Duty. My first Call of Duty was Black Ops 1.
Ooh.
Right. I had Black Ops 1, and then I ended up really liking Black Ops 1. And in general, those kind of more arcadey versions of genres I enjoy. So I enjoy Call of Duty compared to Battlefield, for example. I enjoy Need for Speed over Forza.
Right.
Like
compared
I really
to the Sims, you like the little fun arcadey experiences.
So I like all throughout high school, I was like playing Call of Duty Black Ops 1 into MW3, into Black Ops 2, et cetera, et cetera. Like I was doing massive shooters all the time. And with the Xbox parties, you have your homeboys. It was great. I wouldn't say I was a competitive player, but like I was a little sweaty. I got a little sweaty in Call of Duty,
You went on strategy guides. You like learned some things.
I learned a little bit of thing. I learned which guns were good, which guns were bad. I watched guys like Drifter and XCal and stuff about, the details on the guns and stuff. I'll never forget in Black Ops 2, my homeboy Noah, he was always like my ride or die in Call of Duty. We played all the time together. And he loved the MP, was it MP9 or MP7? I think it was the MP7. It was the MP7 in Black Ops 2, which is one of the first submachine guns in that game.
That game's busted.
Not to say that gun is bad. It's not bad, but it's kind of like middle of the pack. It's average, whatever. But the one outstanding fact about that gun was that it had the fastest reload of any primary in the game, right? Which was kind of cool. here's the thing. I'll never forget this. My friend was like, "Oh man," he gets shot while reloading. "Man, I wish his reload was faster. Man, this sucks." Da, 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 da. And I'm like, "Dude, it has the fastest reload in the game. What are you talking about?"
Bro.
And he was like, you know how we main fighting game characters? He mained the MP7. That was his gun. Like he had like 70,000 kills on that gun, and everything else was under 1,000. Like
Bro.
that was he mained the MP7.
It was such a good gun, dude.
It was good, but like
the accuracy was really strong on that. I remember.
you don't want a little variety in your life, though. There's like 40 guns in the game, and I got really familiar with it because one. I mean, I'm gonna kind of one little gaming pet peeve is some battle passes over regular progression. But one thing I loved about early CODs was that there was a natural progression, not only in levels, but like unlocks on attachments, unlocks in titles, unlocks in a whole bunch of stuff, and camos. So the camo grind, I really got into it. And that also made it so that I played other weapons that I wouldn't normally use.
So you get
Black Ops 2 was one of the only Call of Duties that I got gold in every weapon, which means I got like black matter, I think is what it was at the time.
Oh yeah, like you have to get all
No,
the
it was
camos.
diamond. It was diamond.
Diamond, yeah.
I earned diamond getting gold in every single weapon. And then through exploring all the weapons, you might have found one that you might have written off that you wouldn't think would be your favorite, but ends up being your favorite. So one of that for me in that game in Black Ops 2 was, if you remember the submachine gun, Chi-Com. That was the 4-round burst submachine gun.
Bro.
The burst submachine gun, because you would think burst fire on a submachine gun, that doesn't sound that great.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that
But
crazy.
it was extremely accurate, and the natural recoil would pop people in the head.
Oh yeah, it would just get the
Naturally
last
pop
three.
them in the head, get you one less bullet to kill them. It was great. I love the Chi-Com. But like people written off a lot, you know, and that was one that became my favorite. My favorite assault rifle, though, that one was the AN-94. That was a meta gun, but that gun was too good. Like,
Oh yeah, the AN-94.
and I like AKs. AKs are cool.
Dude, the sights on that gun was just so clean to see.
Oh, yeah.
I love that gun. That one I definitely got diamond for.
Right. So I was really into COD throughout high school. Another 360 game. Again, Soul Calibur 4 came out. Love Soul Calibur 4. Because of Xbox exclusive features, I had some music discs that the console can like burn into its memory or something.
Yeah, you could do that. I remember.
Right, yeah. From the original Xbox, you could do that. So Xbox 360 also had that. So like I only had like 2 or 3 CDs growing up, but I had like Minutes to Midnight by Linkin Park, and I had like Swan Songs by Hollywood Undead. So I have fond memories of playing Soul Calibur 4 with Hollywood Undead in the background.
Oh my god.
Because you could just play the album while you're playing the game.
That was such a great feature that like I want more games to do. Because for me, I played Dead Rising on the 360, and I would put Lady Gaga while I'm just fucking chopping off zombies in the mall. So we need that. Get the music back in the old in our newer consoles.
Well, the beauty of it with modern consoles now is that you legit have the option now, because I know when I played Need for Speed Heat, one of the more recent Need for Speeds, they have a soundtrack. The soundtrack's all right, but I'm nostalgic for Most Wanted. So I personally have a Spotify
He knows ball,
playlist.
y'all. He knows ball.
I have a Spotify playlist called Most Wanted Extended, where I have the full Most Wanted soundtrack, and then I try to find songs from the same artist that still fit that kind of feel.
Right.
And I'm really big into music, so I extended the playlist. And when I play Need for Speed Heat, thanks to modern consoles, you can play Spotify in the background.
Yeah.
So I muted the audio in the game outside of like the engine sounds and stuff, and I played my Most Wanted playlist while playing Need for Speed Heat. So it made that game hit a little bit harder for me. You know, I really enjoy Need for Speed Heat. So yeah, so you still have access to the music. You just got to make sure like you don't got a capture card hooked up, because it takes off the copyright stuff. So it's
Oh yeah, bro.
yeah. So if you're a streamer, you're gonna have issues, because that thing has to be turned off for Spotify to work.
Interesting. I didn't know capture cards had that like.
Well, I think it's like a
about-
thing in the PlayStation or in the Xbox that prevents it, just because of copyright stuff. Like you can't access Netflix, for example, if you have a capture card hooked up.
Oh my god.
It won't let you unless you turn on a thing. It's like HCDP or something weird acronym, but it's a setting to make your capture card work.
Hence why the Netflix service on the PS3, they canceled it, because there was a way to bypass that. With if you switched out, instead of HDMI, you get like a component cables. You were able to record actual full episodes on Netflix with just your capture card, if you're capturing through via no, I'm messing it up.
Like the component cable.
Yeah. You on the settings, you just set it to a component instead of HDMI. And then you would get a capture card that would capture from component to HDMI.
Oh, okay. Takes a little know-how, but it's doable. But you can do it.
There was a way to do it, and I ain't gonna lie, I definitely abused that.
You know, use the stuff available to you.
There's Netflix is no longer available on the PS3 consoles anymore, unfortunately.
I was sad about that for me personally. Just a little segue, because I got a CRT TV, and the only things that work on the PS3 with modern services was Netflix and YouTube. So I went on YouTube and I put on like Naruto, like the OG Naruto, and it like, since it's like on that 4:3 ratio, it fits in the CRT TV.
Perfect, yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, it's just like how I watched it when I was a kid. And I was gonna do Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Nice.
And then they took it away.
Oh no.
With Netflix.
I know.
The pain. I feel your pain, bro.
I was upset.
You know, we're mentioning the apps that are on those consoles. At like, these were like brand new stuff. You know, at the time, you know, YouTube, Netflix, like Spotify on these consoles.
Yeah.
One thing, like again, during high school, I told my parents, I was like YouTube. I was getting big into YouTube. That was like my main source of entertainment. I was like, yo, don't get a cable box for my room. I'm watching YouTube on my Xbox. I'm watching Netflix on my Xbox. Like, you're going to waste your money getting a cable box in my room. Like, do something else. I literally told him, like, I want to watch it on my Xbox. Like,
oh, no, that's fair. Yeah. My parents, I had a cable box in my room, too. And then eventually I was just playing games and watching stuff on there.
Yeah, and you know, I'm trying to think also an extension of the Xbox. I'm thinking so much memories are coming up. So at my father's house, the internet is all the way in his room, which is like, when you walk in the front door, all the way to the left of the house, right?
Okay.
My room, it wasn't a bedroom. It was like a storage room that they turned into a bedroom, and it's all the way on the right side of the house. You have to literally walk through the kitchen, through the laundry room, and then the room is in there. So it's like a whole separate thing. And I remember, because I was into Call of Duty and I was into Soul Calibur and I wanted to play online, I'm like begging them, like everyone, like, yo, I need an Ethernet. I need an Ethernet so bad, Dad. Please, can I have an Ethernet? And my dad, the MVP he managed, because he worked like a maintenance guy at some businesses. So he found a really long Ethernet cable. And what he did was he drilled a hole straight through his ceiling, went through the crawl space, put it through the whole ceiling, through the ceiling of my room, looped it back right where my Xbox 360 was.
Yo,
bro,
I love
that's a real one, bro.
Yeah. Top tier father right there. Like, he crawled up in there and we made that happen through the whole thing.
That's so beautiful.
And the funny thing is, like, you know, now I inherited the house, so now it's my house. But like, those holes are still there. Like, we could still use them if we need to.
That's so smart. Yeah.
Yeah. This is really funny. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that was kind of like a lot of the 360 era was a lot of Call of Duty for me, a lot of Soul Calibur 4 and 5. And then also I got into Assassin's Creed at the time. I was a little late to Assassin's Creed. Like, I got into it at Assassin's Creed 3. So I was a little late to the party. And then eventually Ezio, Assassin's Creed 2 came out when Xbox started doing, like, I don't know if it was called Xbox Pass or something, but when they started releasing free games monthly. Remember when that first started during the 360? One of the first games for Xbox was Assassin's Creed 2. And I think it was like Fable 3. I think those were like the first two games.
I vaguely remember that.
I know what you're talking about.
Right.
I think, was it like Xbox Arcade or something?
It was like they're during their live service, because you needed to pay for online for Xbox.
Right.
Yeah. So to make it more worth it, they were like, oh, here's free games, older games. And those were the first two games. I remember I thought Fable sucked. Sorry for any Fable fans out there. I thought that game sucked. But Assassin's Creed 2, I was like, yo, this game is actually sick. I loved Assassin's Creed 2. Combat-wise, mechanic-wise, that I loved in that game compared to every other Assassin's Creed game was that if you mastered the hidden blade parry, because you could counterattack in that game, right? If you mastered it for the hidden blade, which is a much stricter time than like the sword or the hammer, you would insta-kill every enemy. You'd become untouchable, but you have to like have that in you to be able to do it.
You had to beat Dark Souls players.
It had that like that skill check, because if you mess it up, you're getting whacked.
No, you're getting murked.
Right. So, but if you mastered it, you would be a god. Like you would feel like the master assassin that Ezio is at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Which is something that didn't translate into Brotherhood. It didn't translate into Revelations. Not 3, not 4, not any of the other ones.
Yeah.
Only in 2, and I would imagine the first game, but I never actually played the first game.
I think I played the first game. They didn't really have that kind of stuff. It was very, it was a lot slower. But like it had the foundations of like what Assassin's Creed has up to this day.
Right.
I remember when I played Assassin's Creed 1 on the 360, they had released like a trailer at like E3. That's what it was called at the time. REP, my goat.
Yeah, REP E3.
And then at the time, like I didn't like have like a fancy phone to like watch videos. So the way I would learn about video game news is they would have like the game store for the game. And they would have either a demo or a trailer. And I remember it wouldn't stream it. You would download the video onto your console, and then you would watch the video on your console. I remember watching the Assassin's Creed 2 like announcement trailer with the gameplay like 30 times. I would talk to my friends about it. I'll be like, look, he has 2 hidden blades and he's hiding and he's like running faster. Like just every increment.
What's cooler than 1 hidden blade? 2 hidden blades.
Like every increment thing that I wanted from like 1, because I loved 1 so much. They added it on 2. I thought it was such a perfect like
sequel.
Yeah, it was a
100%.
perfect sequel. I love that game.
The reason I didn't get the first game, funny enough, was my high school girlfriend at the time. She was really into Assassin's Creed, and she told me specifically, she's like, "Oh, Assassin's Creed 2 recaps Assassin's Creed 1, and Assassin's Creed 1 kind of sucks gameplay wise, so you could just skip it." That's what she said, and I was like, "All right, whatever you say." And I fell in love with the Assassin's Creed franchise at the time. One thing, you're bringing up another memory. You said how you got your game news.
Yeah.
The big thing I got my game news from, me and my brother, if you remember screwattack.com.
Yep. I remember.
I don't know if you know it.
that.
There was screwattack.com and gametrailers.com. These are 2 old websites,
Game
gaming
trailers,
websites,
I do remember.
where they would have consistently uploading new game trailers, new game reviews, and like, so even though me and my brother only really got games on our birthdays and Christmas, we really informed ourselves through gametrailers.com, through screwattack.com, and other random reviewers online that we really enjoyed, or even playthroughs, let's plays on YouTube. Like, like shout out Sugar Conroy, one of the biggest let's players all time. But like I used to love Sugar Conroy, watching his stuff, and I'll just see games I never would have even considered, you know. But yeah, that's how I got my gaming news a lot growing up. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to go from here, man.
Nah, man,
it's beautiful.
I'm yapping so much.
And I'm loving it too right now, man. I'm getting to know like how you get your news, what games you like, how it transitioned between one generation to another. I think we haven't dabbled into like PS4, Xbox One. I feel like we're kind of like
yeah. It's like every generation has. And the thing is, my brain is kind of like scattershot because there's like so much stuff that is coming up. Like one game I forgot to mention during the PlayStation 2, again introduced by my cousin, and then I saw Let's Plays on YouTube of was Shadow of the Colossus.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh my
I love
God.
that.
That game is so cool. And again, and I didn't even mention Kingdom Hearts as well in PlayStation 2. Oh my God.
I Shadow Ultima, bro.
Shout out
that
Ultima
guy knows ball.
But just really quick for Kingdom Hearts, I got introduced to Kingdom Hearts. Again, one of the friends that came over for Soul Calibur, I came over to his house one time.
Right.
And he had Kingdom Hearts 1. And then we played Kingdom Hearts 1 at his place. And he told me, "Oh, my dad does a really good Donald Duck." And I look at him, and look, to give it to perspective, his dad is one of those like scary looking white biker dudes. Like that's what he looks like.
Right.
Like the stereotype, what you're thinking of, that's what he looks like. So seeing that big buff dude come up, he sees Donald Duck on the screen and does the most perfect on point Donald Duck impression, blew my 8-year-old mind or whatever. Like I was like, what? Oh my gosh. But eventually I did get into Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and I really enjoyed Kingdom Hearts. I fell in love with the franchise, but that franchise at the time, I'm sure you know, and Ultima could tell you, it went through every single different console. So unless you were money bags, like you're not going to play all of them. So like the ones I missed Dream Drop Distance, I missed Birth by Sleep because I didn't have a PSP, I didn't have a 3DS. And then I Chain of Memories, I didn't get on the Game Boy. That was, again, a Pokemon player for me. So I didn't get Chain of Memories, but it re-released towards the end of PlayStation 2.
It did.
The Chain of Memories. So I did end up playing that one eventually, which was funny because Sora's voice actor got much older. He had his Kingdom Hearts 2 voice.
Oh my god, yeah.
With the Kingdom Hearts 1 model.
Yeah, he got so much older. You could tell he was trying to go for the higher pitched voice.
But it
wasn't
puberty
happening.
hit him, It's like, it is what it is, an aspect.
Yeah.
But man, Chain of Memories, this is a good game, and the combat is just kind of very different. But the combat's fun, and it's just you kind of learn optimal methods in that game. Like I learned to spam slights. Just mash the triangle button to make the slight combos, and then like most normal fodder enemies can't touch you because they don't have cards big enough unless they hit a 0, and then you just hit them with another slight.
Yeah. The only issue I remembered, I play the Game Boy version specifically, so I'm not sure if it's consistent with the PS2 version. But I know if you use slights a lot, eventually you like sacrifice a card when you do the 3 cards.
Yeah.
So then eventually, if you do it on a boss, you're gonna be stuck with like a handful of cards, and then you can't make slights anymore.
Right, yeah. On normal mob fights, I would have like a slight deck, so it was like spamming slights because most of the time the slights are so powerful and would nuke the enemies so hard. Like you're not worried about losing, your cards.
Yeah, fair.
By the time you're running out of cards, they're already dead.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But the boss fights, you had to be a little more strategic. You would use like the normal combos with your slights, and then eventually it's like, okay, they're getting low. Then you start spamming the slights.
Yeah.
Or sprinkle in a few 0 cards just to cancel out their slights.
Yeah, there was a nice strategy to it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. So I played Chain of Memories. I only borrowed Birth by Sleep from my friend of mine who had a PSP, and he loved Kingdom Hearts, so he got Birth by Sleep. And I only played through, like, he let me borrow it for a week, and I played through Terra's story, which little did I know he's the worst of all the characters. I didn't know. I just wanted the big dude. He looked cool to me.
That's fair. I feel like his story, I remember, was the weakest one out of the 3 for me personally.
See, look, at the time, I didn't really care so much about the story. I was just like gameplay. I was like, oh, he's a cool buff dude. I want to play him. And my friend was really into Magic, so he started with Aqua when he did his. But like, I didn't know at the time. But like just gameplay wise, like he is the slowest. He's a slugger, and it makes it hard, like unnecessarily harder to do normal fights or boss fights with Terra compared to Ven and Aqua. But anyway, I still have yet to play Birth by Sleep, which I have the 1.5, 2.5 on the PlayStation. I will get to it. No one tell me to do it. I will do. I know Ultimo might be seeing this right now, and he'll be like, "Yo, play Birth by Sleep." I'll do it. Don't you worry your pretty head. I'm gonna get to it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Okay. So then let's swap over to then you did your 360 or Nintendo Wii area. So then what happened after college? Like, what was the console you hopped onto there? Was it the Xbox One or the PS4?
So
what was there?
So I was a college dropout. I went for music, and I was upset that I'm paying for classes that have nothing to do with music. So I was very frustrated with that. But eventually I dropped out of college. And the console that I got for one Christmas, I literally gave my mom options. I was like, I would rather get the Xbox One Assassin's Creed Unity Edition. I would get the PlayStation. I forget what game was bundled with it, but there was some edition with the PlayStation. And then it was like New Super Mario Bros. Wii U. And I gave her those 3 options. And I'm like, whichever one you can get would be the one. But I had them like tiered though. So
the tier list.
So there was a list. So it was like any one of these is fine. But if we had to pick one, I wanted the Xbox because I came from 360.
Right.
Then a lot of my friends, because at the time there wasn't crossplay, a lot of my friends were already on Xbox. So it's like to keep playing with them and, the party chats, I wanted Xbox. So eventually I got an Xbox and I played all of Assassin's Creed Unity. I played a few other games, not a lot. I didn't actually play it. I bought Shadow of Mordor. I never played it actually, but I got it. I owned it on the...
That's amazing.
I got Grand Theft Auto 5 on the 360, and then eventually the Xbox One.
Oh yeah, because it was on the tail end of it.
Right, the very end of 360 was GTA 5. But at some point, I just realized that, like, because we had a lot of friends that were mixed, some in PlayStation, some in Xbox, and I was like, man, this Xbox One ain't it, bro. I was like, this just isn't it.
Yeah.
They had like advertisements on the home screen. I didn't have a lot of games. Only my one friend Noah was the only one that still was on Xbox with me. And at the time, he moved out with his parents to live with me in my room. We legit shared a room together for a little bit. So like, I'm playing with him because he's in my room. Like, I don't even have to be playing this console. So eventually I sold the Xbox One. And then one Black Friday, I went to Black Friday and I got a PlayStation 4 Pro. And with the PlayStation 4 Pro, I got The Last of Us. I got, there was like 4 games I got. I remember I got Last of Us. And, and I got that because people were saying it was good. I remember specifically, like, I'll get to it eventually, and I've yet to do it. It's on the back of y'all. I've yet to do it.
You got a backlog for your audience.
I got a humongous backlog. Oh my God. But I got Last of Us. there was like 2. Oh, I got Skyrim. Which I had initially on the 360, but I never finished all the trophies. So I got it I got the PlayStation 4 version of Skyrim, and there was like 2 other games. I'm blanking really hard on them. But I remember I told myself when I was playing Skyrim on the Xbox, I was like, yo, I know I can get all these trophies. I just have to actually do it. It's like a time sink.
It is a time sink, yeah.
It's a lot of the trophies were kind of more grindy. And I had the big tome of a strategy guide for Skyrim. It has a humongous 600-page strategy guide tome, which was sick.
Dog.
So those
strategy guys were like gold of itself, the size of it.
And I did a stealth archer Khajiit in Skyrim, the classic. Everyone does a stealth archer in that game, but I thought it was, I liked Assassin's Creed, and I get to be an assassin in this fantasy game. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Oh yeah.
And then the strategy guy is like, oh yeah, play as a Khajiit because they have a bonus to sneak early on, even though sneak is really easy to power level. But little did I know, so I was like, I'll play the Khajiit. So I was the cat dude assassin, stealth archer, classic stereotypical Skyrim playthrough.
I love that.
But I played that on that, and eventually we're getting started to more of my competitive stuff. Was like I was really wanting a Soul Calibur so bad. There was no Soul Calibur 6 on the horizon. The last Soul Calibur game was 5, and I liked it, and I liked that Ezio was in it. Again, I liked Assassin's Creed, and I think Ezio is like a perfect guest character for that franchise.
Yeah,
dude, his back throw. Have you ever seen his back throw?
I have not.
His back throw, he like kicks the back of your knee. The enemy opponent goes on their knees, and then he pulls the hidden blade and shanks him right in the back of the neck. It is brutal.
Okay.
It is so good, dude. And he's like he says something in Italian and pushes him down. It's so sick. But anyway,
he's like, there
was no Soul Calibur. And I was like, man, I need a fix because Project M stopped, and I have that competitive edge. I need something to, had that hunger. And that's when Tekken 7 came out. Okay. So you guys know me as a Tekken player. I'm wearing the Reina fit right now. Okay. And I was like, okay. I remember going to GameStop with my friend Joey, and legit was like, yo, man, this game came out today. There's no Soul Calibur, no news of Soul Calibur. I'll play the other 3D fighter that Bandai Namco has. So I bought it day one, which meant that I didn't technically have the pre-order for Eliza, which was funny, even though I bought it day one. But anyway, I got Tekken 7, and that slowly became the new addiction. That became my competitive. That became my Project M.
Right.
Literally Tekken 7. But I didn't know about no local scene. I didn't know nothing. I was by my lonesome. I had no one to play with, just online. But I played a lot of Tekken 7. And Tekken, throughout my life, I had Tekken 2. That was my introduction. It's Tekken 2 on the PlayStation 1.
Right.
But I owned it on PlayStation 2, of course. And then my brother was more into Tekken, and I was more into Soul Calibur. So he would occasionally get the Tekken games sprinkling throughout. We had Tekken 5 and Tekken 6. And eventually, at the end of 360, they released Tag 2 on the digital front. So I had Tag 2 right before Tekken 7 came out.
Yeah.
So I remember very casually, throughout my life playing Tekken. But then I got really into it in Tekken 7. And that was a huge game on the PlayStation 4 that I got into. Again, that was my competitive itch when I eventually learned about the scene. But I was a broke boy. I was a broke college boy. So I would only show up once in a blue moon. You host events at Flynn's. I remember I went to probably some of your early tournaments. I remember fighting your law in bracket when it was in the hallway. And everything.
Oh, the hallway, bro. Yeah.
I remember this was early, before COVID, all that.
But yeah, true, yeah. Mm-hmm. Dude, it was probably before we had that wall expansion too.
Yeah. It was just that one initial space. It was at the end of the hall. They had 3 setups on the wall, and they ran tournaments there. I remember. I wonder if he still plays, but there was this really tall black dude. I think his tag was Achilles or something, and he was a Lily man, and he was the main guy.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was the main guy. It was I think at the time when I went, it was me and him were where like the best guy is there, and he would always take it over me. But it was like a 6-man bracket, little small bracket, but it was still like the beginnings of me finding the scene. I went to a few Arcade Odyssey tournaments. I looked at an old VOD I have of me Twitch streaming my tournament matches, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna VOD review my tournament matches, and I looked at it. I went back for some reason just to see something, just to nostalgia, go back, and I saw it was me versus Sean Wick. You know who Sean Wick is?
No, but it sounds scary if I hear Sean Wick.
He plays Harang. It's Prophet Noada from our local scene. I fought Prophet in T7 years ago at Arcade Odyssey.
Sean Wick, bro. That sounds like a thing he would do, bro.
Yeah, I fought, and I was like, yo, I didn't realize I fought Prophet that many years before I met him in TA.
Bro, if I see him in a local, I'll be like, yo, what's up, Sean Wick?
Sean Wick? Later tonight, you'll sell him, bro.
Yeah, bro. He's gonna look at you. He's like, how do you know about that?
How do you know that name?
How do you know that name?
I killed that name years ago. Like, that's what he's gonna hit you with.
Oh my god.
Oh, yes. But anyway, so more PlayStation 4 games. I got eventually Soul Calibur 6 did get announced.
Yeah, Soul Calibur 6 did come out.
The marketing of the soul still burns. Hard. That's such a hard marketing thing. I was like, yes, my soul does still burn, and I got it day one, and I pre-ordered all that stuff.
Same with me.
But at that point in time, Tekken has sinked its teeth a little still far into me. So like even though I enjoyed it and I tried to get into it, and I even entered a few tournaments at 10th level tavern for Soul Calibur 6 and Tekken 7, like I was too deep into the Tekken hole to really get too deep into Soul Calibur.
Right.
But I do love again, Soul Calibur is the best at this character customization. Like that has probably the best character customization in a fighting game at all, period, point blank. Make your own characters, create your stuff. And they have features that every game that has it should incorporate. So one of the biggest ones that I'm kind of upset that Tekken 8 doesn't have is like in Soul Calibur 6, you can create your character, you create your custom.
Right.
And then you can upload it online. And then they have a feature in the character creator where you can view other players' creations. And assuming it has all the items, if you both own the same items, you can download it. You can have their custom. And it's like, it's made by the same people. Like, it's made by Bandai Namco.
Yeah, it's by the same people.
You have this great feature. People love the character customization in Tekken 8, despite how limiting it is. Why can't people share it? Like, people share it on like Twitter and stuff, and then if people ask like, where exactly is this accessory placed, and they'll show the screenshots or whatever, and people can recreate it. But it's like, you have the means to do it. You've done it in the past in a weaker console and everything. It's like, what are you doing?
But yeah, they are definitely slipping on that.
Yeah,
but, you know, it just means you have to get that much more creative.
Exactly. But yeah, I was into Soul Calibur 6. Again, still in the Call of Duty. We're talking like Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4 kind of era, right? Around there. But that was also towards my fall off. I think Black Ops 4 was really my fall off on shooters. I just kind of got drained, kind of bored of that kind of genre of games.
Yeah,
and they kind of also like, you know, the advanced movement and stuff. It was starting to get a little different.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And
you hate getting mixed in a shooting game.
Yeah.
The wall bounces to like jump cancel. No thanks.
Like you're just running and gunning and whatnot, and all of a sudden you just have one guy just zipping around you and whatnot right behind you. It's like, bro, like
the zipline guy pissed me off, bro.
Yeah. So at one point I kind of just fell off of Call of Duty. I never really got too back into it, but there's been Call of Duties after the fact in PS5 that I actually, or late PS4 that I got into a little bit. Mm-hmm. I got into Call of Duty World War II a little bit.
That's a solid one.
Which people say it's solid. And it was a Sledgehammer game, which, you know, I was like a Treyarch fanboy. And I didn't really play that much Sledgehammer Call of Duties, but that one was one of the ones I played. And, you know, the whole marketing of it was like, yeah, it's World War II, boots on the ground, like less jumping, less craziness, you know?
The single player is really, really good. The single player story mode, phenomenal.
I'll take your word for it.
I would say one of the best.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
And second to that, I would say actually Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare was good.
Single player was also really good.
See, Call of Duty to me was purely a multiplayer game, so I'm gonna have to just take your word for it. I believe you, but it was solely a multiplayer game. But what I really like, I played Call of Duty in such a dumb, mindless way. But in World War II, I had a mixture of perks. So that game, because of the time period, had some old classic guns. We're talking like the Tommy gun, gangster gun, right? Yeah. You put the drum mag on it, you're straight up a gangster, right? There's a perk in that game, I think it's Gun Ho, where you can sprint and hip fire at the same time. So I have vivid memories of World War II running full sprint at opponents with a red dot, a drum mag, and a Tommy gun, just spraying people down. It is the stupidest, funnest class I've had in that particular game. Oh my gosh. And then I played a little bit of the newer Modern Warfare 2. Of Modern Warfare 2. I played that for a bit. But that one kind of showed me a thing that I didn't like about more modern CODs, and it's the whole like fascination with battle passes lately in gaming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that one had a whole battle pass, and like for at least in Call of Duty, you have to grind to get everything. Like it is a grind and a half. And like normal Call of Duty progression is a grind, but this is throughout the lifespan of the game. You know, so it's like it's more reasonable. But these battle passes, like you gotta put hours and hours and hours, and I'm like, yeah, Call of Duty's fun. Is it that fun though?
Isn't that fun though?
Is it that fun to grind? And like that's kind of a one gaming pet peeve I have is like finding the balance in unlockables from battle passes. Like one thing I enjoy about the Tekken 8 battle pass fight pass system they have is that like you play for like 30 minutes a week and you're gonna get everything. It's like it doesn't ask that much of your time, and if you're into the game loosely, you're gonna play 30 minutes with your friends every once in a while anyway, so you'll get it. And they have very long periods, especially that most recent one was absorbently long.
It was like 90 days, right?
It was more than 90 days.
More?
It was really, I don't remember the exact amount, but it was a long time. I guess because it's leading to season 3 that's coming out next week. But regardless, like I feel like the Tekken 8 Fight Pass actually respects your time, and like the bonus missions of like, oh, play 30 matches, get this much damage, go into the fight lounge, just go in it. You don't even have to like do anything in there. You just click the button to go in and you get extra bonus points. Like you get a lot of weekly and daily things, and it's just really fly you through the bulk of the pass to unlock everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like other games like Call of Duty that I've experienced do not respect your time.
100%. I would definitely feel Tekken's really generous with your time.
Right. Yeah. And again, I like it over, what is it? I liked in older CODs, like actual normal progression. Like they recently re-released Soul Calibur 3 on the PlayStation, which I got.
Right.
And it's kind of nostalgia to go in there, you're playing the arcade mode, you're getting the endings, and then also, oh, you unlocked a new weapon. Oh, you unlocked new stuff in the shop. Oh, you unlocked this. Like, that's something that fighting games don't really have anymore, or other games in general, because they're just doing Fight Pass stuff. You know, pay $5, get the Fight Pass, and then grind the game and then do the Fight Pass. But yeah. Oh my goodness. But I skipped the Wii U. Let me go back to Nintendo really quick. I skipped the Wii U mainly because I was broke. That was the main thing. But then I learned that the Wii U kind of flopped, and there wasn't that many games I really, really wanted anyway. And my main favorite Nintendo franchise, Fire Emblem, was kind of stuck to the DS, the 3DS. It was mostly portable. We're talking about Fire Emblem Fates. After Awakening was Fates, and after Fates was Conquest Birthright, and then after that one was Fire Emblem Echoes. That was also on the 3DS. Until the next one, which came out on the Switch. So the Switch hype, I always knew eventually I wanted a Switch. I had friends from the Project M scene that was like, one dude like loved Mario. He made Mario. He played all the Mario games. He got the Switch day one. I didn't get the Switch until a couple years later because I was waiting for a particular game to come out. And once it got announced, I'm like, I'm getting it 100%. And that was Fire Emblem Three Houses. Once Three Houses was announced, I was getting the Switch. And I got it literally like Three Houses came out like July 29th. My birthday is July 24th. So that year that game came out, I got the Switch day like on my birthday. I borrowed Mario Kart from my roommate Noah at the time. So I was playing Mario Kart waiting for Three Houses to come out. And then I eventually got my Three Houses copy, of course, the collector's edition because I love Fire Emblem. Right. That was like my main game on the Switch. And man, I love the Switch, dude. The Switch is so cool, dude.
It is. It's a so great handheld device.
Mario Kart 8's fun. The of course both Fire Emblem games that are out there, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Fire Emblem Engage is awesome. There's of course Smash Ultimate, which
Smash Ultimate.
I'm a Smash head. Smash Ultimate has a lot of content, a lot of characters. Everyone's here. It's really cool. But similarly to Melee to Brawl, Project M compared to Ultimate, there's like this buffer system that's notorious in Ultimate, and I just do not like it. Like, I know if I really wanted to, I can get used to it. Ultimate has characters I really like. For example, Corrin from Fire Emblem Fates is in there. I loved Corrin in Smash 4, even though I don't like Smash 4. I like the character of Corrin. So when I play that game, I play Corrin. Ultimate, I played Corrin, and then eventually the DLC Byleth from Three Houses came out in Ultimate, and I would play Byleth too. But the game itself just doesn't feel good to me.
Right.
So I like, even though I enjoyed Ultimate a little bit, it's just it didn't stick with me. You know, it ain't no Project M.
It ain't no Project M.
Ain't no Project M. But again, continuing also with Switch, Pokemon was still a huge thing with me. Scarlet Violet came out. Like, I played every Pokemon game, mainline game leading up to it. So we're talking Sun and Moon, we're talking X and Y, we're talking Black and White, Black 2, White 2, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Like, literally the whole mainline ones, I played all of them. And I really enjoyed Scarlet and Violet. I know Scarlet and Violet gets a lot of shit because of the glitches and like the frame rate and stuff.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
At least in my playthrough, I didn't have a lot of glitches, and a lot of those really big meme photos that you see, like rarely happen. That never happened for me. But the core gameplay, I think, of Scarlet and Violet is like probably the most fun I had in a Pokemon game in a long time at that point, because I was starting, like, even though Pokemon's been huge and I'm a huge Pokemon fan, I'm kind of been slowly like kind of disillusioned. I wouldn't get it day one. I'd get it later. I wouldn't go as hard in the games, whatever. But Scarlet and Violet, I was like, all right, give it a shot. And the open world is really cool. Your ride Pokemon's really cool. The fact you can see Pokemon just kind of out in the wild and all that stuff is really cool. Like I said, I think the core premise and the mechanics of Scarlet and Violet, I think, is like top notch. It's a really fun game. I just don't like the one thing that holds it back, because there's like 18 objectives in the game throughout the 3 different main story paths in the game that they don't level scale to you. So you could hypothetically like open world wander yourself into the gym 6, gym 8, like really late game stuff, and it just doesn't scale to you. So like that's the one critique on that game I would give it. If the open world was going to be truly open, if just tie it to how much achievements you've acquired at the time. You know, like if the 8th gym leader has a gym 1 version of his team, there you go. You're good. And then it would make it a true open world. But it still kind of limits you because of that. Because then you might wander and then you come back to one and you're like, oh, I'm just now way overpowered for this.
Right.
All right.
They could probably make the world a little bit more designed to not have you bump into end game stuff so early. Or
right. Again, just as long as they scale the important fights that the map is pointing you towards, it would solve that instantly.
Right.
But more games too. This is back to the Wii era, but they re-released it on Switch, and I replayed it. It just keeps coming up. Do you guys know a game called No More Heroes?
I love No More Heroes,
dude.
Bro,
bro.
I've heard it.
I've wanted him in Smash for years.
Travis Touchdown and Smash would go so hard. But that was one of those games where me and my brother saw it on game trailers on the Wii, and we're like, oh, we see that the game looks fun and good, and we begged our parents for it. And for a mature game, my mom didn't read the label. She just sees a dude with a beam katana from Star Wars and is like, oh, my kids want it. It's called No More Heroes. Sure, it's all right. That game has cursing. It got blood everywhere. You're cutting sexy people in half. But it's kind of cartoony in that sense because it's very over the top.
Yeah, it's very over the top.
But I love No More Heroes, and they re-released No More Heroes 1 and 2 on the Switch. So I ended up playing both of those again on the Switch, and with the release of No More Heroes 3, which came out on the Switch. So that was hype. And then another hype one that was for me on the Switch was that they re-released the original Fire Emblem game on the Switch. Original like Famicom.
Oh, the Famicom.
Yeah. Which I, of course, as a huge Fire Emblem fan, I got that as like day one, special order, all that. But there was when Nintendo's doing that weird practice where they were like, you know what they did with the Mario 3D collection, that it was limited time, that they would stop selling it after a certain.
Yeah.
They did the same thing for the Fire Emblem one. It was limited time, which is, I don't know, do they not like money? Just leave it available the whole time.
That's what we're saying, bro.
Whatever. I was going to get a day one, so it didn't really affect me too much, but it's still weird that why would you have a game for limited time? That's kind of whack.
Yeah, FOMO for everybody else, and then people who weren't there for it, yeah, they got cooked.
Yeah, for no reason. But yeah, I enjoyed a lot of my single player gaming, especially lately, has been from the Switch era. Recently, New Year's happened a couple months back. I gifted myself for Christmas $100 on the eShop. I have a list of games on the thing, and I just every once in a while eyeball the eShop, see what's on sale, whatever. And we all know about the hype of last year Game of the Year Silk Song, one of the Game of the Year nominees. Silk Song.
Yeah.
I never played Hollow Knight, so on Christmas on the eShop, both games were on sale. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna snag both of those. And I recently beat Hollow Knight. And I'm talking about like with the radiance and everything. I got the true ending that people talk about. Yeah, that game is amazing. And I'm excited. I haven't started Silk Song yet because I'm talking like I just beat it last week.
Oh, last night?
Like literally last week. I beat it last week. Like earlier in the week, I beat it. So Hollow Knight's been really fun. And it's been fun in such a way that it's like, Metroidvanias is a genre of games that I haven't really dabbled in, really. The only Metro game I kind of played was Metroid Prime on the GameCube, but that's not like the same kind of Metrovania as like the actual 2D Metroids.
Yeah, this is a first-person one, right?
Right, it's first person. And on top of that, like the other half of the genre, Castlevania, I've like never played any of those games.
Oh, yeah.
Not from a lack of being interested, I just never owned one, so I never really got around to it. But like Hollow Knight kind of opened my eyes that like, at least, I really enjoy Hollow Knight a lot. I mean, I'd probably enjoy other Metroidvanias. The one that came out recently from Bandai Namco, Shadow Labyrinth, was also on sale recently on the eShop. That's the one that has the not Pac-Man. His name is Puck. He's in Tekken actually as an accessory. But but yeah, like that introduced me to another genre that like, I should really go into. So like, single player wise, like there's a lot of games I've been enjoying on the Switch in particular. And there's a lot of nice mechanics. Oh my God, I can keep gushing, dude.
Sounds like a fun time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But then that leads to like modern games. Like right now, modern game wise, again, single player wise, a lot of stuff is on my Switch that I've been playing. But multiplayer, it's been solely Tekken 8.
Yeah,
that's consumed my life. Tekken has consumed my life. I'm going to a Tekken tournament later tonight. You guys know.
Yeah, so, you and me both, bro.
Yeah. You guys already know.
Me.
That's gonna be my my main multiplayer game. It's just Tekken.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right, so we went way above our time.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll just go through these topics. Pretty quick.
I'll try to be more concise. I'm so sorry.
No, it's good.
So we definitely want to.
You've given us a lot, which is a good thing. So we just appreciate that.
We just want to hit all the questions that we do want to ask you.
Hit me up right now.
Because even though it's like, as you were talking, you were explaining things, it's like you kind of hit this topic already throughout the conversation. So
like pet peeves, we usually ask people that one.
I got a few more specific ones, bro.
Gotcha.
Okay, we can.
All right, so I'll go. All right, the next topic would be what are your current thoughts on the state of gaming? Even though we've already pretty much gotten your thoughts on it already, but
we could get a little more concise.
Well, concise, more wise. That's a sentence.
Concise, more wise.
Generally speaking, as you could probably tell, I have a kind of limited scope on the games that I'm playing. But I do look at the gaming landscape, and I have a pretty positive outlook on it. I mean, seeing all the game nominees, Game of the Years from last year, you got Silksong, you got, Balatro was one of them, Donkey Kong Bonanza. What's that one RPG that everyone's loving?
Expedition
33. Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of.
I'm
it seems like gaming's in a pretty good state, generally speaking. And I'm kind of like happy with the state of gaming. And of course, my favorite franchise are still going strong. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave just got announced not too long ago, so I'm obviously looking forward to that. Because of that, I knew instantly I gotta get a Switch 2. I gotta get it ready for the next Fire Emblem. So I think the state of gaming's in a really good spot, and I'm excited for all the new games and remasters and remakes that are coming out.
Yeah, it's really good stuff right now. I'm excited.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Next topic, you had to be there moments. What moments that you can tell us that you had to be there for?
I kind of took that question, both personal stuff and then actual gaming stuff. So one that I mentioned earlier, gaming-wise, was the Smash Dojo lead up to Brawl. That was super hype. And then another one in relation to Smash was my favorite YouTube streamer, RIP. He's not here with us anymore, but Etika was my favorite streamer all time. So his love and passion, his reactions to everyone is here in Smash Ultimate, you had to be there, dude.
Right.
And then also in relation to him, he had merchandise with what became my favorite artist. My favorite artist that draws is Akai Riot. You can find his stuff on Twitter and stuff. Just search Akai Riot.
Oh, I know who they are.
Yeah. He's
got like the little blue eye icon.
Yeah, the eye icon, exactly. Yeah. He did a collab with Etika one time because Etika was like, I main Red Robin. So Robin from Smash, but Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
And then he did a collaborative art with them. And I, of course, bought the artwork. So it's Robin completely in red in like this one suit bikini, and it says property of Etika right on her chest. And I went to Versus Gaming one time for a Project M tournament, of course. And then one of the guys that worked there was DC, also rest in peace. He passed away as well. But he was a really cool guy, and he was friends with Etika. And he's like, yo, Etika, some dude rolled up to our gaming center wearing your merchandise. And he took a picture of me, sent it on Instagram, on Twitter. And Etika, I remember his reaction on stream. He's like, yo, I got to show the stream this stuff. Because if you ever been to Versus, it's all black lights. Yeah. He's like, yo, when I first saw the pic, I thought someone rolled up to the strip club with the Red Robin t-shirt.
No, yeah,
but
dude.
the picture is literally like just me like this with 2 thumbs up. Oh my gosh, that's like a had to be there moment. I was on the stream when that happened, and I was so excited that he was so hyped about seeing me. And then some more personal ones. Another Project M memory. Me and JT. If you know anything about Smash, they have doubles brackets occasionally.
Yeah.
It's one of the few fighting games that you can do doubles in. And me and JT, like, we were both all right in the scene, but we weren't top contenders by any means. But one of the guys was friends with his dad's like a Seminole Indian that owned a casino, and they hosted an event for Project M and Smash in general.
Right.
So they were running doubles, and me and JT were really, really grinding doubles. So we grinded doubles, and we go there and we enter the bracket. And of course, a lot of the top guys are like, I'm gonna partner with this other top guy, and then we're just gonna take the money, right? That's what they're thinking, right? But because of our practice, it showed me and JT, we didn't win, but we got second place. And we took out names that if it was a singles bracket, neither of us would have probably won realistically.
Right.
But because of that grind, that training partner, because he was the one that introduced me to the game, it's like definitely had to be their moment personally for me. Of getting second there. There's this one particular combo. So I made all the Fire Emblem characters in Project M.
Right.
He made the majority of Pokemon. And we had teams coordinated. So we had 3 distinct teams because there's only 3 Fire Emblem characters. We had Mewtwo Marth. We had Ivysaur and Ike. Mm-hmm. No, it was Ivysaur Roy. And then it was Pikachu Ike. So those were our teams. But the one we had on stream, and I wish the file didn't corrupt because it's so sick. But right before getting to finals and losers finals, he grabs somebody right by the edge. They're on the last, like he does down throw from Mewtwo, pops him perfectly right above Mewtwo, and then I'm running behind him and I do reverse area rush down air with Marth, spikes him for the kill on stream. We get hype as heck. It was perfect. It's beautiful. We literally rehearsed that specific scenario, so when it came together, it was wonderful. It was definitely like a huge moment. But I wish it wasn't corrupted. But yeah, that was definitely had to be there. Again, this doesn't even exist anymore. I can't even show you guys the clip. You had to be there to see it.
You had to
take my word for it, dude.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. I love the strategy of like having a cooperative experience in a fighting game. It's so much fun.
It definitely is. All right, our next topic is your gaming pet peeves.
Yeah, you dabbled on this a little bit.
I dabbled a little bit, but here's one. In any game where you have to follow an NPC and they walk faster than you walk, but don't walk as fast as you sprint.
Bro, Assassin's Creed would do that all the time.
God. That is like the worst. But some of the more modern, like I think from Black Flag onwards, Assassin's Creed has a thing where if you're just near someone and they're walking, you walk with them. Like you put down the analog and he'll just walk with them naturally.
Yeah, that was their way of fixing
they found
it.
a way around it, but a lot of games don't do that. It's like make them either walk how I walk or sprint how I sprint. Don't make it this weird in between where I have to like halfway do the analog.
No, yeah, it's so funny. I feel like developers they make the speed of like the game, and then once playtesters try it, they're like, yeah, let's just make the player a little faster, a little slower.
Yeah,
and then that's what happens, man.
Yeah, another pet peeve of mine though also is how they balance difficulty. I'm specifically referring to the Skyrim method of balancing difficulty.
How do they do that?
In Skyrim, there's like 5 different levels, tiers of difficulty. Right. And like, let's say like in the normal difficulty, when you boot up the game, the default, it's like you do ×1 damage, the opponents do ×1 damage. When you go higher in difficulty in that game, you do less damage, the opponent does more damage, and they have more health, and that's it. That's the only change. It's just so like the strategies are the exact same. You don't have to incorporate new strategies. You just gotta not get hit as much and hit them more. I think that's like the laziest way to do balancing of difficulty. So that's like a huge pet peeve of mine. Like that's why in Skyrim when I play it like 1 notch higher than the default because the default's a little too easy. But I don't go to master difficulty because it's just a slog. Everything becomes a bullet like a bullet sponge, and you just become super frail. I like difficulties like how Kingdom Hearts does it, where you to get the most out of it, like you can probably brute force your way over level and mash X, but realistically, just using the more tools available to you to then overcome it, like magic and summons in Kingdom Hearts. I think Kingdom Hearts generally does good with difficulty like that. Fire Emblem also in like Engage, the newest Fire Emblem game, does the difficulty really well, I feel like, because the enemies are strong and threatening, but they understand what tools you have at the time. so they know the kind of strategies you can incorporate to then overcome it. Like the difficulty seems fair, not frustrating and BS.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I loved Halo for that reason, where there was that difficulty spike because they probably had more shields, right? And your bullets weren't as strong. But then the AI would be much more strategic on like how to kill you. Like if they saw you were kind of like holding down one side, they would have like the grunts come out and do their thing and like try to get you to come out. Or
Yeah, maybe throw grenades or something.
They'll throw grenades. I think one of them they just threw like they started chucking. I think Halo 4 is when they just threw that artificial intelligence said, I'm gonna start chucking grenades. But 1 through 3, I remember they were distinct, like different AI on the enemies, and that was really, really cool. So I get what you mean on that pet peeve. They don't do it like how they used to.
I got one other really big, very simple one. Any single player game that requires online to play the single player game, that is so whack.
No, I agree.
Like, I understand it's the modern day. More likely than not, you're going to have online available to you. But if it's single player and there's no like real online feature, why do I have to be required to be online to play it? Just let me play the damn game.
Yeah.
I bought $70 game. Let me play the game.
Yeah,
I agree.
So that's probably that'll probably be it for my gaming pet peeves for you outside of other ones I mentioned
I
throughout.
definitely agree.
No, I appreciate all the other ones.
Oh my goodness.
It calls back to my memory for Halo too.
One more topic. If there's one piece of advice you could leave gamers with, what does gaming mean to you?
I mean, the only advice I have, I think, would be like, I don't know, it's more like life advice in general, but like, don't let anyone tell you you can't enjoy the art you like, enjoy the games you like, you know, play the game, whatever game you like, no matter what it is, you know. Similarly with art, you know, growing up, Disney Channel, people used to make fun of me because I liked Kim Possible. Oh, it's a girly show. It's a cool show, a cool action show, whatever. Similarly, like games like, oh, this guy Call of Duty head, he just likes Call of Duty shooters. Cool, that's cool for him. Oh, this guy likes, you know, platformers and stuff. You like don't make fun of someone because of the particular game that they like. And regardless of if you're made fun of, just shoot them off. Enjoy what you enjoy. And then another thing I would say, this is more advice, not really advice, but more like something cool to do is I implore people to watch speed runs of the games that they're interested in. Because sometimes like outside of like, unless it's a really glitchy speed run, but if it's a less glitchy one, you will see some of the coolest stuff capable in the game, and then you can sprinkle that into your own gameplay, and that might make the game feel even more fun or breathe new life into the game. So one particular speedrun, if you're a fan of Kingdom Hearts, just watch any Kingdom Hearts speedrun. There's very few glitches, but they utilize magic a lot. They utilize summons a lot in ways that you wouldn't think at all. Because then people meme that Kingdom Hearts, you just mash X, but you watch the speedrun, for them to go through the game fast, they use all the tools available to them. Really cool. And then in strategy games like Fire Emblem, there's two different kinds of stuff you can watch. There's a speed run, which generally for Fire Emblem, they get like a super unit and they kind of solo every map.
Right.
Or they do what's called a low turn count run. So it's a more planned out run to make it so that the amount of turns it takes to beat the map is really low, not the initial speed of the map, right?
Right.
So in a lot of those low turn counts, you have to utilize every unit in very particular ways. And like the strategies is just so like cool and intense, and it makes it really cool. And that might open your eyes to playing the game in a more fun way. So that's kind of like the general advice. Just see what the higher level players are doing and try incorporating that even in your single player games.
Okay, I'm gonna try that for Fire Emblem because I like it as like a spectator. I haven't really like played it as much as you have, but I really enjoy the characters in the story. So I'm gonna do that for speed.
I think in particular the newest one, the Engage, because of the emblem rings in that game, the amount of strategies that are possible are really cool.
Okay,
the stuff you can do. I think that's why I Engage right now. I might be recency biased, but I think it has a lot of cool mechanics that the player has available to them. So it makes it really fun in that sense. So I really enjoy Engage in particular.
Okay, I'm gonna try that. I appreciate that advice.
SoldierLuka, I just got to say thank you again for being a part of this episode. I'm going to close things out, y'all.
Oh, yeah, okay, so we're going to close it out then.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being a part of this episode and sharing so much of your gaming background. Like, we actually do have, you know, a good amount in common, especially when it comes to the PlayStation 2. So our tastes are very similar, but appreciate you for sharing and whatnot. And with that, is there anything you want to say? Any let people know where they can find you, what you're up to doing, whatever. The mic's yours.
Yeah, sure. So I have that good branding. You can find me anywhere at SoldierLuka, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch. Everything is at SoldierLuka, freaking eBay, whatever. I'm on everything SoldierLuka, so I'm pretty easy to find. My most active social media right now is Twitter, mostly Tekken clips. So you'll be seeing a lot of Tekken. I am a big Tekken head, so I'm a big pillar in the scene. I do commentary for the scene. And then just one thing I like to always close out everything I do with is again something Etika always did, and I really do think there's a very important thing. But remember to always take care of yourselves. Have yourselves a damn good one. That's always super important. Take care of yourselves. People love you, and gaming's really fun. So that's pretty much it.
Beautiful.
All right, Butter Punch.
I really want to bounce off his same idea about watching speedruns. Oh, I'm over there? All right, cool. Hey, guys. No, yeah, I like the idea of speedrunning on like a game that you really like. I've done it before for Sly Cooper and Sonic, and it kind of makes you see like the nuances of like how the game works and like how you could get more out of it. Like your experience is your experience, but then you see somebody who's like mastered your game, it's like a whole new experience, and it's just as exciting to watch. So I recommend that too. As Luka said, watch a cool speed run on your games.
All right, and as for me, I've already said my outro, whatnot. But for those watching, tuning in, hey, thank you guys so much for being a part of this episode. Hit the like button, share the podcast, share the stream, subscribe, and turn on that bell icon for notifications for more upcoming content. We'll have an episode this Thursday, and I'll also be streaming this Wednesday and probably Tuesday. So I think Tuesday and Wednesday I'll probably do some streams. So be on the lookout for that, and appreciate y'all for watching and tuning in. This has been episode 175 of the South Florida Gamers podcast, and we are signing off.
Peace.
Deuces.